She did no one else harm.
Mr. Chillingworth loved his wife.
What exactly was your relationship with your husband like?
We never really had a very good relationship, but he wasn't there for me at all.
Mr. Chillingworth, rather than punishing or shaming her, forgave her. He even stated that it was partially his fault. Chillingworth did not hurt the townspeople, or any single townsperson. He instead served them faithfully as a limited position.
Did you see any improvement in his condition?
Not at all.
I mean, he didn't do a whole lot.
They did not feel comfortable around Mr. Chillingworth.
As time went on, we noticed his features getting uglier. Like he could have been associated with Satan.
You literally called Roger Chillingworth Satan.
Old Roger Chillingsworth was a striking evidence of a man's faculty transformed himself into a devil.
The opposing counsels have argued Mr. Dimsdale risked repentance as being sufficient, but guilt does not clear his serious sins.
The worst thing that he carried out was he was a coward. He actually felt remorse for the things he did. My client has done so much good for this community. Furthermore, my client is partially insane and he is unfit for trial. People love and respect our client so much. Would punishing our client really benefit anybody?
Have you ever felt personally harmed by Arthur Dimsdale?
And did Arthur Dimsdale bring a lot of light and happiness into your life?
Absolutely!
The reason I did not confess to my sin and join them in their solitude was partially to benefit them.
Having sinned once long ago, I feel a connection to Dimsdale.
He is little less than a heaven-ordained apostle, destined, should he live and labor for the ordinary term of life, to do great deeds.
Does guilt absolve someone of their sins? I think physical punishment sure does.
Is it true, Arthur Dimsdale, that on several occasions you have whipped yourself in your closet?
That is true, yes.
Hester Prynne was a sinner. We will not pretend otherwise. Hester Prynne was certainly one who rectified the situation.
Do you think no one could have raised you better than your mother?
Yes. And she was always helping people.
Esther is a good woman. She helps people. I was in pain and she helped counsel me.
I loved my mother, but we were not in a very good state.
Hester Prynne has spent a lifetime of repentance. Therefore, we would argue that Chillingworth is probably the most guilty because he has continued a lifetime of sin and only sought after revenge. Both Dimsdale and Hester Prynne have acknowledged their own sins. Hester is not guilty and neither is Dimsdale.
Much in the way that he, as a holy man, devoted his life to acts of goodness, Roger Chillingworth did the opposite. As a black man of Satan, devoted his life to vengeance and wrath. There is a difference between evil and sins of the flesh.
Mr. Chillingworth has been accused of ill will towards Reverend Dimsdale, but as evidence has shown, he did not directly harm Dimsdale in any way.
You admit that one can be guilty of sin without physically harming another person.
This is true.
This case is about who's the guiltiest, not like who felt the most bad about their sin. It's not Dimsdale. I can't say Dimsdale. It's not Dimsdale. Okay. No, but no one called Hester. In their final argument, no one pointed to Hester.
Chillingworth. Okay. The judges have deliberated, and they have found Roger Chillingworth to be the greatest sinner. Chillingworth will be tarred and feathered. Court dismissed.